Hi, my name is Nompendulo Shabangu and I mainly go by Noms. Thank you very much for joining me on today's segment where we're going to be talking about communication and its importance, or rather the role that it plays in the life of a leader. So as a leader, it is really inevitable that you're constantly going to be conveying messages, whether it be to people who are following you or people that you want to enlist to follow you. If you know me, if you have ever listened to anything that I've shared, you probably would know that I'm someone who is incredibly big on vision. You know, vision is something that I really believe in, that I believe that every single leader needs to hone in on their message of what their vision is, and how it is that they plan on achieving it, right? And so that being said, as a leader, you're constantly going to have to communicate your vision. That is how you enlist people who want to, to go with you the extra mile, people who will enlist to what it is that you're doing, right? So simply put, a vision is just something that you see yourself having achieved overall. There are certain things that we want to do in life. There are certain things that we want to achieve. But a vision, it's all of your little goals combined, to make sure that they have this overall goal that you actually want to achieve, either through your business, in your personal life, in the community at large. It really does not matter, but it's just really what you want to achieve, right? And so people always want to know why they should be a part of what you're doing. So let's say, for instance, you're someone who's starting out a business. It's a brand new business, or maybe it's a couple of months old, or maybe even a year old, right? People will want to know, why should I come and be a part of what you're doing? And so we're going to have to learn to convince people to the point where they actually have the conviction that this is something that they should be a part of. I mean, I have heard countless testimonies. I have read so many articles. I have read so many books where I have heard of people who left everything behind just to follow a vision. And I really want to emphasize, it's very important for me to actually point this out, that oftentimes people make the mistake of thinking that people enlist to something because of the visionary, while originally we may first be attracted to the visionary behind the vision. That might be what actually, just draws you in. But what will keep you is the vision of the visionary. And this oftentimes has to do with how well they deliver their vision, not only what it is that they're delivering. So number one, it's very important to know what your vision is. And then secondly, it's very important for you to be able to relay that message. People have heard speeches like, just recently we were celebrating the late Dr. Martin Luther King, who was such a freedom fighter and a revolutionist, right? And he had a vision. His vision, he constantly said that I have a dream. And it has become one of his notable speeches. I mean, Dr. Martin Luther, he gave countless of speeches. But that speech is what has made him monumental. When you say, I have a dream, people immediately know who it is that you're talking about. One of the books that really resonates with me a lot and actually got me into this whole thing of vision is a book that was written by Andy Stanley. Andy Stanley wrote a revolutionary book called Visioneering. And in Visioneering, he talks about what a vision is, how do you grow your vision, how do you know that your vision is supposed to come to pass, how do you enlist people within your vision. And quite recently, I watched a video of his where he was talking to a number of leaders. He was informing these leaders that in as much as people, when you ask them, a majority of people will tell you that they will get behind a leader because they have integrity, right? So they believe in leaders who have integrity. That's what they say. But their actions prove that they follow a leader who has a clarity of vision. I'll give you an example. The same example that he used actually was that if you think of former President Barack Obama, who was president in the United States of America, right? He said his key speech was, "Yes, we can." I will tell you, I distinctly remember hearing that message for the very first time. I was in a combi on my way to school. I was still in high school, and I was hearing this brilliant man, and there was this tape being played over and over and over again, and he kept on saying, yes, we can. Yes, we can. And when you listen to him, you thought to yourself, oh my goodness, yes, I can. And he wasn't saying, yes, I can. He was saying, yes, we can. Because that is the great thing about a leader, is that they always make you a part of their vision. They show you the entire picture, and they say, this is the role that you can play. This is how you can be a part of it. And so not only because he was a prolific communicator, but his vision was very clear. And so that is one of the things that we need to zero in on as leaders, is to be able to know with clarity of thought and mind what our vision is. I had an interview a couple of months ago with Dr. Jerry Lackey, who's the co-founder of Love Botswana Outreach Mission, an organization based in Molueur, and I used to work there for approximately 10 years. And in my last role at Love Botswana, I worked as their public relations officer, which meant that I was in charge of sharing information about the organization. When people came through from different parts of the world, whether it be America, South Africa, I was in charge of giving people information on the organization. And so the vision of the organization was developing leaders for Africa. I mean, you could wake me up in the middle of the night and ask me what the vision of Love Botswana was, and I could tell you, developing leaders for Africa. It was so ingrained within me that the first time that I actually heard it, I was like, you know what? This is something I can get behind. This is something that I want to do. I want to be a part of developing leaders for Africa, right? And so it was something that was just, it consumed me. When I would stand in front of people and I'd tell them about the vision, I spoke with such conviction. And that is one of the ways that you are succeeding as a leader, is when you have people behind you who can share the vision with as much conviction and as much clarity as you do as the leader, right? They are equally as convinced that this vision needs to come to pass. And so in my interview with Dr. Jerry, I said to him, Dr. Jerry, before I knew you as well as I do now, when you were just still this mystical figure who had just come in once in a while, not so involved in the operations of the organization, as much at the time. I remember him being this man who would come for, staff meetings. He would come for Christmas staff meetings, etc. And always, without a shadow of a doubt, Dr. Jerry would always mention, this organization is all about developing leaders for Africa, developing leaders for Africa, developing leaders for Africa. So wherever it is that I went, in my waking up, in my coming to work, I would see it written on the wall. It was all about developing leaders for Africa. And so that's one of the things, is that the more a vision is repeated, the more it actually gets internalized and the more people actually run with it. So as a leader, like I'm saying, it's not only important that you know what your vision is, but it's absolutely imperative for you to be able to deliver it in such a way that it moves people to want to be a part of what you're doing. As a leader, you want to ensure that you deliver your vision with as much clarity as possible, effectively and efficiently. And that will only come through practice. You have to constantly be practicing it, constantly be saying it, so that people will be able to know it and be able to enlist to your vision. To wrap this up, this is really just to say that it's very important for you as a leader to constantly be growing in your communication skills. There are so many other things that I could actually talk about, but because today we're mainly talking about the fact that you need to be able to properly articulate your vision as a leader, that is what I'm going to be hammering in on. You're going to come across potential investors. You're going to come across people who want to volunteer. You're going to come across people, prolific people who could take your organization to the next level. You're going to come across people in the community who want to help you achieve your vision. But it starts with you being able to internalize your vision, being able to stand before people and to speak with that conviction, to speak with that assurance that this is a vision worth following. Because like I said, in as much as people might be impressed by you, you know, they say that first impressions count. You need to really make it count by ensuring that you're always practicing your vision. You're always articulating it, that you're writing it down. Even the Bible says that write down the vision and make it plain so that he who reads it may run. That is for you. You need to constantly be honing in on your vision, not only for yourself, because like I already have mentioned, the best visions, they actually enlist other people, because if you actually have a good enough vision, it's going to be one that you cannot achieve on your own. So it would do you best to be able to just, when I ask you as a leader and I say, you know what, I want to give you 2 million bula. Tell me today why I should give you that 2 million bula. What is your vision? What is it that you want to do? You don't want to begin by fumbling and, you know, because you can easily lose out on an opportunity of a lifetime by not having zeroed in specifically what your vision is and having been able to articulate it. And that all comes with growing our communication skills. I hope that you enjoyed today's segment as we're talking about communication, and I do sincerely hope that I'll see you again. Thank you for joining me. If there's something that you learned, please comment down below. If there are things that, you know, questions that you have, maybe a topic that you'd like us to cover that has to do with communication, please feel free. You can ask the question in the comments. You can, you know, I just want us to interact, and all of my handles as well as Karabo Media and Communication Consultancy handles will also be shared here in this video. So let's connect, let's talk, let's grow together this year and going forward.